Hello and welcome to Combine and Conquer. Combine and Conquer is a factory automation game from Martin Buck Software. And in this game, you build factories, you uh, harvest resources from a planet, you colonize other worlds, and I don't know where it ends actually. So you can see here, we start on this planet here called Earth. It's not actually Earth. I think it's more like Earth type is what the implication is here. There's also a Saturn, there's a Pluto, and there's a Jupiter. Although, well, these all look pretty Earth-like, so I guess they're just, they're all terrestrial planets. They all have different designs to them. But the planet we start on is all islands. So you can see that here. Each landmass here is kind of separated or mostly separated. So you have a bit to choose from, and you can toggle between the space view and the planetary view like this. And if you try to zoom in too far on the planetary view or the system view, it doesn't give you any detail. But if you zoom in on this view, it actually will go down into the detail. And then there's other controls here for planner, modules, research, save games, stats, volume controls, rendering settings, which I'm not even sure exactly what that does. It's just like overlays and things like that. There's also additional selection modes here where you can change the cursor to do different things. And so we'll explore that as we go. So what you want to do here is you want to pick out a landmass. And I don't think it really matters what landmass. I'm going to pick this one right here. We're going to make sure we're in planet view. Otherwise, we won't be able to zoom all the way in. That bit's a little bit confusing, but it's okay. And you want to look for resources here. And there's 3 resources, at least that I've seen so far. There's coal, which is dark, almost black. There's iron, which is light gray, almost white, and there's copper, which is orange. And you want all 3 of them, and you want them kind of all in the same area, definitely all within this this cursor here that you can see, the lighter green cursor. So you want to scroll around just a little bit, find a good spot where we might be able to find the resources. If you zoom out too far, you don't get to see the resources anymore. So you kind of want to just scroll around a little bit. That's a lot of iron, decent amount of coal, and some copper. That could be good. There's some more copper up there even. Maybe this would be good. There are different terrain here. So there's ground, and then there's rocks, and then there's mountains. You can't build on mountains. You can build on rocks. You can build on ground. So the starter is the building we have in our cursor from the very beginning of the game, and that's the first building we have to place, and we can't do anything other than place that building to begin the game. So we're just going to pick a spot here, and basically all this is kind of like your command center, I guess, in a way. It gives you basically like a radar view of everything in the area, so you can only build in your view here. So we want to make sure we put that in a good spot so that we can place it. And notice now the cursor still has it on there, but it shows 0. That means that we have 0 starters left, which makes sense because you shouldn't be able to have more than one starter. It doesn't make logical sense, at least on per planet, I guess. Up here, there's details about what your cursor is over. So we get copper ore, iron ore, more copper ore rather, and some more coal. And so the game really doesn't have any sort of built-in tutorial. However, if you find this game on the itch page, you can get this demo. And the demo, you can't see it up here because it's the game plays in a window, which is kind of a throwback to the old school DOS games that when you first started getting to play them on like Windows 3.1 or something like that, Windows 95 maybe even, they kind of played in a window and you kind of got stuck with that. So it is playing in a window, and even if you maximize, you still have the title bar like old school style. So up here in the title bar, it actually says this is the demo and loading is disabled. So while you can go to the save here and save the game with a name, or you can start a new game here. Let's see, go back to that view. You cannot load games once you've saved them, once you save and exit. So if you want to try out the demo, you can get started and you can play a map. Or start playing a map. And if you like the game, then you can pick it up on itch. Itch.io, and I'll put of course, have the link in the description below. But the game is $5 a minimum on itch.io to have the ability to save and reload, rather specifically. Otherwise, you can play until your computer crashes, I suppose, with the demo. I don't think there's any other limitations, but if you close the game, then you're not able to resume that save. So let's go ahead and jump in and kind of take a look at this on how it kind of compares against other factory games and what we might like or dislike about it. Yeah, let's jump in. So we placed our starter. We placed it here in the area of the resources. And then on the itch page, there's a link to the developer's website where they have like a getting started guide. And that's where I was going with this. And so if you are... if you're new to the game and you don't know how it's played, because there's not a tutorial built into the game yet, there is a page on how to get started with the game, and it goes through a lot of the very important stuff, and then from there it kind of leaves it to you to figure out. So we've kind of talked about the hotbars over here already. The info box up here, of course. Bottom right is the overlay where you can select structures and items. So this is kind of how you build and how you configure the different machines when you place them. You, of course, zoom with the mouse wheel, and then you left click and drag to move. It's not a WASD thing. In fact, WASD will select the different building and configuring things down here. So be careful trying to do WASD because it will not work. So this really has a really old school DOS feel because, you have your Q and W here to change between these modes. And then, A, S, D, F, C, Z, X. Wait, are these both C? Or is that a G? I can't tell. ASTFG, maybe ZXCV. Yeah, I think that's a G. That's a little hard to tell with the M underneath it there. But so you can kind of jump through your menus with the keyboard controls if you like to, if you're a really old school DOS player. So basically, we place structures, which are buildings, including things like belts, inserter arms, processing buildings, mining buildings, modules we'll get into a little later, materials, energy, space, and other. You place them in structures mode, and then you configure them in items mode. So we're going to place our first few buildings here. We've of course already placed the structure or the starter by clicking to place it. By the way, if you lose your cursor with the starter in it, by the way, you can find that here under Other and then Starter. And of course, we don't have any made, so that's that. And right click clears your cursor of whatever building you had on it. So if you right click at some point during the scrolling around and zooming around and trying to find things, well, then that's how you get back to it. So this lighter area here around that we had is our influence area, and we can't see it right now, but there we go. It's our influence area. We can only build within the influence area. And so the first thing we need to do is to extract raw materials, and we do that with a miner, of course. Miners are a 1x1 pixel or voxel, whatever you call it, I guess, block here, but they mine in a 3x3 area. So it's kind of reminiscent of the Factorio electric miners a little bit, in that you get a little bit of a range. And I will do this many times. I keep hitting the keys, the WASD keys to move the map around, but you've got to left click and drag to move the map around. So, and if you want to, so then we have mining going on now, and there is 500 power given off by the starter, and all power is wireless in the game too, by the way. But putting down 2 miners cost us energy, NRG, 10 each, so we're at 20 energy spent out of 500 available. And then the next bit is you want to put arms. You want to use arms to extract or to take the ore from the miners and put it onto a belt or into a box or whatever. And you can see that the arms have an arrow. The arrow tells you the direction in which it moves, so it picks it up from the flat end of the arrow and moves it or transports it to the other side, just like that, like you would expect, I guess. But we'll put 2 of those in there like that. And then we need to put those on something or in something. And of course, for that, we're going to use belts. So belts, you can either left click to place one or place multiples in a row, or you can right click drag to put down a whole stretch of them, Oops, and I'm pressing buttons again that I shouldn't be pressing. And then you can see the items here moving along the belts. Oops, and I was in configuration mode again. Let's see, let's rotate that, and then, how do I want to do this? Let's see here. Let's do maybe this, and that. Oh, I did this wrong. Let's see, let's delete. Delete, you just put your cursor over and you click, and you press the delete key on the keyboard. There we go. And you can see curve also is a viable option here. And then let's remove that one. And we need to do something with this. We're going to go here to the production buildings, processing buildings rather, and choose the furnace burner. And I think we're going to do like that. I think we'll do like that. I'm just trying to think about how to do this the best way, and it's a little tough because we're limited on the functionality we have right off the bat. So every smelting action of iron ore to iron plates costs you 1 ore, 1 coal, I believe. And then it will run as it did there, and then now I think it's idle because we need to put those plates someplace. And the next thing you want to do, of course, is put those plates onto some sort of a belt. Maybe we'll do it this way. And then we can do this. Oops, I was right direction already. There it goes. And it just heated up. So you can see they're now taking the iron plates out and they're putting them onto another belt. And then the furnace is able to run because there's room in it to run. So then what do you do next? Well, you use the iron plates to make things. So one of the first things you want to make in the game is gears. So we have an assembler. Actually, we have a few assemblers. We have 10. And we want to have an assembler that makes gears. So let's put this here, I think. And then we can do a ooh, that's not right. We can do another little bit of belt here, and then we can do this to put the plates into the assembler. Well, it's not doing anything, because we need to go here to the items where this is like the configuration menu, and we need to find where the gears are, which I know they happen to be here in the processing tier, and gears, and you select the recipe that you want to program the assembler to make, and then you just click, and it programs it. Now you can see here that 2 iron plates make 1 gear. I'm not sure what the third line means. Actually. Do I know what the third line means? I don't know. Oh, total raw. Or total, not raw, but... so if you look here on an assembler, assemblers take 10 gears to make. Well, that's 20 iron plates total to make an assembler. So that's why this is only 2 iron plates, because it doesn't go down to the ore. It goes to the tier that's craftable, not in a smelter, like after the smelting tier, I guess. So now we're making gears, and we're actually done already making gears because, again, the game is, the assembler is full. So now we need to do something with the gears along with the iron plates. And a good thing to do with those is to make belts. Because it turns out you need belts to play the game. So let's do this. Excuse me. Let's do that. Let's continue this one down. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. I'm back. Still getting over this mess, so it's sometimes uncontrollable. So this assembler we want to make, oops, I forgot one thing. We need to also add plates into this. We want it to make belts. So we go to the belt menu here, and we'll just program that with belts. Now you can see Just like this one shows, a gear is made from plate, a belt is made from plates and gears. So, and it takes one plate and one gear, which is a grand total of 3 iron plates to make one belt. Now, we're at a point where, what do we do with these belts? Well, the only thing that I know you can do with the belts in the game is build with them. But just because something is being made doesn't mean you can build with it. And we don't have a person, like you do in Factorio and other factory games, where we're actually, building or have a personal inventory. So how do you do this? Well, you put down where's it at? No. Here? A provider. So it's like a provider chest, and you put one of those down, and then you do a arm into that. And now this automatically adds all belts into your craftable items. So if we go here, we can see it's at 42, 43. It's going up because they're adding belts into this inventory. Now you can see also here on, we saw on the furnace that, the glowing orange means that it's working. Here on the assemblers, the green light means that it's working. If they go out, that means that it's not working for some reason. And how to tell exactly why it's working or not working, I'm not entirely sure, but I guess you just kind of have to puzzle it out at the worst, so it's not too bad. Did I? Yeah, okay. So now we're making iron plates, iron gears, and belts, and we're pushing those belts into a provider so that we can do this. Now, you can't put things like plates and gears into a provider. They just won't go in there. And that's because they're not structures. They're not things you can build. So if you're... so the only things you can put into a provider are things that are buildable. And you want to keep an eye on that, keep a thought on that, because you're going to want to, only try to put things in the provider that you can actually place down yourself. Okay, so the next thing is, what do we do next? We talked about energy over here. We're now using 155 out of the 500. So eventually we're going to want to put down some more energy generation. There's a couple things we can do with that. Let me see. Where's the energy stuff at? Is it here? Space. Energy. Duh, right there. So we do have batteries, and we do have burners. And burners generate 100 energy from coal. So you literally just, have a miner and a burner. I don't know if there's a ratio, how it works exactly, but you just put one down, and you put a miner down next to it, and you just... let them go. We could try it, I guess. Let's put one down here. Let's put an arm down like this, and then we'll put down one of these. One of these. There we go. And we'll see how that burns. But now we have 600 energy available. It's waiting. So there's at least a one miner, one arm to multiple burner ratio here. There it goes. So yeah, you can definitely support more than one burner on a single miner, single arm situation. And then the battery is a energy buffer basically. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is we need to work toward research. We did look at these menus over here on the side, and the next one here is, one of them here is research. If we click on that, we have a fairly decent research tree for an early game such as this. Here along the top, the first things we have are belt crossings, and we also have 2 belt mixing, and then we have research tier 2. So those are the 3 things we can actually do. Everything else is blocked by one or more of those previous ones, and so I think crossings makes the most sense to do first. And so we'll give that a try, but we have to actually feed the research. You can see here, now that we're doing research, we need research token, I think is what it's called, 100 of them. We have 0 fed into a lab so far, so we need to get that figured out. Labs are over here. This is that's an influence thingy. This is the chest. Labs are here. We don't have any available though. how do we make a lab? Come over here to look at it here, and that means we need 15 chips. We need chips made from iron plates and copper plates. Those are here, or rather iron plates and copper wire is made from copper plates. So we need to start smelting copper. So why don't we come over here and start mining copper, because that'd be a good place to start. If you're going to smelt it, you kind of got to mine it, right? Oops. I keep clicking the thing. If there's only one here, you don't have to click it, because it's already selected when you go there. We're going to do this, and then I'm going to put a furnace over here someplace. Could go there. Yeah, let's go there. Let's do another arm here. If it'll let me do that. I don't know if it'll let me do that. It will. Okay, good. And we'll do here. And then we'll output here. And we want belts. I'm going to right click, go like this. And then we'll take the copper plates out this way. There we go. We'll get that started. I want to make sure it's working before we go anywhere. I may want to add another miner to this belt. It might not be a bad idea. Or I could have, done something different with this. We'll just do this one here. This would be fine. There's a limited amount of resources to these, but also the more tiles that the miner is collecting from, the faster it produces. Now, what I don't know is if they're overlapping each other, do they share that production, or do they get the value as if they're, they get all 9, for example, whether they're sharing or not? And I don't know the answer to that. And I haven't done the math to try and figure it out. So we need to smelt. We did smelt these. We need to craft these into wires now. And we'll do that down here someplace. And then we also want to bring the iron wire down. Why don't we do this like here somewhere? Oh, influence range, right. Let's then move. Maybe we could also expand the influence range, I guess. And maybe we'll have to. But let's delete that one. And let's do... And also when you delete something, you get that item in your cursor. So if you want... And there's another way to get it back on your cursor too. I don't remember what the other hotkey is there. We'll do that. We'll do... Not sure why it's weird. Like that. I did it again. I right click to place one. It clears the cursor. We'll do that. We'll do this. Oh no, this has got to be made into nope, that won't work. Delete this too, because this is going to be where we need to make wire. Now let's configure that here, and then we can do this, and then I want to send the wire this way into another one of these, like that maybe. This is a spaghetti mess, but a factory game isn't the first time you play it, right? That can go that way, and we can go in here, and we can go in here, and we can output these into a provider. No, these go into a something else. These go into... Oh, whoa. Don't do that, Wally. These go into... They be configured. Chips? No. Yes? Yes. Chips. And then this goes into making a lab in another assembler. So we do this, and we make a lab right there. And that'll take a little while. It has a 5,000 tick time on it, compared to things like belts have 1,000, wire has a 750, gears were 750. Circuit boards are 1,000. So I haven't really looked at that a whole lot either, but I think it's... Actually, I'm not sure what a tick is. It's not seconds. But it's not like milliseconds either, I don't think. Yeah, because this is waiting an awful long time. That's 7... It might be like 7.5 seconds. Like, it might be tenths of a second, guess? Or hundredths of a second, I guess. That could be. So now we're making circuits. Now we need... Or we're making a lab, rather. And we need to put that into a provider as well. So let's put down one of those. Here. And then one of these there. And eventually we'll get ourselves a lab. Meanwhile, what else do we need? Well, we need these research tokens to put into the lab. And those are found... I don't know where those are found. Oh, here they are. Research token 1. Iron plates is all these take, and then those get fed into the lab itself. So let's put up a another assembler over here someplace maybe, although we're running low on iron, or running low on coal of all things. Let's put down another miner then for coal. Probably not a great idea to have all this stuff crammed together. Maybe I should just delete this. We don't need it anyway. Yeah, let's do that. We'll just put 2 of these down like that. Why not, right? And then a couple of these. That'll give us a little more coal. And that'll give us a little more iron plate. Maybe. We could always smelt more. But I want to do some kind of shenanigans if we're going to try and pull that off because of the way that I have this working. Plus, there, as far as I can tell, there are no longer arms. At least we have to unlock them maybe later in the tech tree. Well, that might be their arms mark II. Is that faster? Or is that long arms? There we are. Okay, arms mark III. So we can't really do those big factorial style arrays until we have all this stuff. Belt splitting, it might be what these are as belt splitters. I'm not sure. Again, I'm just trying this out kind of for the first time here. I fired it up and played just a little bit just to see what it was about, or how the controls and stuff worked. But this is basically it for me, first time wise. So let's put this down here. Let's grab from the same spot here, I think. That way they kind of don't fight too much. And then we want to make these research token 1. And did we get a lab yet? We did not. So we're going to make these, and then we're going to feed those into a lab. We could feed them into a chest first if we wanted. That would at least get us a bit of a buffer. Let it run for a little while, I guess, kind of thing. Let's do that. And then that way we'll have a bunch of them for when it's time to go. Can you see by clicking how many of them are in there? Or is there another way to find out what's in there? I mean, the mouse over kind of tells me that there's research tokens in there. But as far as what, or how many, it doesn't really say. That 9 available is 9 chests available. Yeah, we're out of iron. Okay. So the issue now is smelting speed. What kind of shenanigans can we pull off here? Or do we just wait? We could just wait. Have we gotten our, no, no lab yet. As far as I can tell, there are no speed controls. These cursors, space cargo linking, we don't know what that is yet. Colonize, we don't know what that is yet. Remove things, rotate things, and edit modules. We haven't gotten into modules yet either. Ah, one available. Great. There we go. I didn't see it move, but I just figured I'd check. And let's do this, and then that should get the research going. So you can see it kind of lights up, starts maybe working. And it doesn't affect the count right away, so it's got to run some sort of a processing on it. I don't know if it says that anywhere and how long it takes to process. These are the crafting times, and these are the processing times. But you can connect multiple of these to the same, you know, source of items. Fed them all in. Okay, there we go. 5 are done. And so forth. So it's going to take a little bit of time, and you know we need to smelt some more iron. That's for sure. So we should set up some other way of smelting more iron. Do we have any more coal, or did I kind of tie myself up here with that? I tied myself up here with that. We can't cross the belts. We could do some smelting elsewhere, maybe, if we had any more coal nearby. Here's some way down here. Or over here. The only way I can think of to do this is to take the coal and come like all the way around and feed them in somehow. That seems like a lot of work for not a lot of benefit. But I guess we're gonna have to do it. This is definitely too many now. Now let's do that, and then how many belts do I have? 63. Oh, I need a new influencer too. So you can also put down an influencer expander, which you have to build within your range, but you can build it like this. And then that expands the influence zone around your base. So what I wanted. There, delete that one and move it over here instead. So you can expand how much you can see, what you can see, and what you can build in, more importantly, around your base here. It's a little buggy on the drag. We'll have to say that. Then I also press the keys I shouldn't be pressing. Once again. There we go. And then running low on power, huh? Did these take power? Belts? NRG? They do. They take 1 energy. Alright, well, we are going over our power allocation right now, but that's okay. There we go. Let's do that. And then we'll get some of the smelting set up. I don't think I need all 3 of these. I'm going to be perfectly honest. Let's just do 2 of them. And then let's do some coal power right here, maybe. Like this. And then a bit of a belt. Oops. Oh, that's it. All the belt I have. Okay, well then, let's do this. And then we'll do... We don't have any arms either. Oh, that's not good. Well, then, delete, and go back to the old method of... this. Feed it directly in. Alright, so we doubled our iron production. Whether this holds out or not, it depends. I just don't know if it's going to hold out or not. We're going to have to add another miner, which means we'll need to make more arms. So we should look at the recipe for arms. Not there. Here. 4 iron plates and 4 gears. Yeah, I'm really tied up in a knot here now. How many belts do I have left? 5, yeah. That really cost me. And like I said, there's got to be a better way to do this than all of this shenanigans. But it might just be getting these things unlocked in order to accomplish it. But at least these irons getting to the end of the belt now, so we're able to make different things again. Although maybe we should not be making any more labs because we're currently not producing enough research tokens anyway to do all the research we need to do. So, you know, maybe. Add, set, remove. What does that do? I don't know what that means. Remove makes some sense. Alright, we're up to 10 now, so it's just going to be a little bit of progress, a little bit of time. But like I said, if we were ahead of the game a little bit here, we could add another lab up here, say, and insert from there. But you cannot handcraft anything, so everything has to be automated, which is kind of a good restriction on you, because then you're forced into doing it this way from the beginning, unlike in basically every other factory game where actually you're encouraged to handcraft from the start and then you go from there. So, but I think what we're going to do is we're going to leave this here. If you're interested in this some more, let me know in the chat, or in the comments rather, or come to my Discord. You can find the link below and let me know, and I'll pick up from this. Since we can save and not load, I think I'm gonna pick up the game, and then I'll be able to load this game, pick up right here where we left off. I do have some other games that are in demo or early access kind of thing that I want to do some features on, but we'll come back to this pretty soon, and we'll continue taking a look at it if there's interest, and then we can go from there. So thank you all for joining me, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.